if you don't use it, will you lose it? I'm talking about sexual intercourse and your vagina. When I haven't had sex for a long time, etc., whatever the situation might be, if I don't use my vagina in this way for a long time, could I lose it, you ask? And that's a really great question. I'm going to tell you what can happen if you don't use your vagina for a while in terms of sexually and with sexual intercourse. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle, practicing family physician, on-air health expert, and video creator. I'm going to start by busting a couple of myths that you guys have asked me about that I've seen on the Googler Schmoogler. Number one is I'm seeing and I'm sort of giving you the answer, right? But I'm seeing people online saying things like your hymen will regrow or grow back if you don't have sexual intercourse for a while. So let me first of all debunk that one, because that is not true. Okay? Once the hymen is altered from sexual intercourse or whatever, because there are other things that can alter the hymen, no, it doesn't regrow or grow back or things like that. So nope, that's not the case. Even if you don't have sex for a long time, your hymen does not regrow. The other thing that I've seen online that you guys might be wondering about is people have asked, hey, if I don't have sex for a long time, is it true that my vagina will close up? And maybe that's what people mean when they say, if you don't use it, will you lose it? Well, good news here, guys, is nope, it's not going to close up. There are situations where a vagina can close up, but this is not necessarily one that I think of. So it's not going to close because you're not having sex. But let me tell you what can and may happen if you don't have sex for a while. And by the way, I should say, it's perfectly fine to do whatever is right for you. This video is not a video advocating for sex. Now, there are tons of benefits of sex, from intimacy to stress reduction. I'm going to mention some of these later, to perhaps improve sleep, so many other things, right? Mental health reasons, whatever. So what you choose for you is your choice. So we're gonna jump into the meat of this video, which is about what happens to your vagina if you don't have sex for a long time. So first of all, thank you all for all your comments. But first thing, let's just jump right in now. First thing that can happen if you do not have sexual intercourse for a while is that your vagina can experience decreased elasticity. And if you're not sexually active for a while, you could experience decreased elasticity, meaning it's not as malleable, pliable. It doesn't give the way it would or perhaps does when you are more sexually active. But sometimes this decreased elasticity can cause either discomfort, pain, etc. with sexual intercourse. It may not cause anything. You may not notice anything, but some people may find that it feels a little different or may feel a little bit uncomfortable, maybe at first or maybe for a little while. How much decreased elasticity occurs really depends on the woman. Also probably depends on whether you are premenopausal or postmenopausal as well, because things like vaginal dryness and thinning of the vaginal walls, which can happen in postmenopausal women, can contribute to that elasticity, and younger women or women who are premenopausal may not experience it to the same degree. But decreased elasticity definitely can happen. You certainly can bounce back with sexual activity, but how long it takes to bounce back, how much you bounce back, probably depends on your age and so many other factors. Your vagina becomes less elastic if you are not using it with sexual intercourse. Okay. The other thing that can happen, okay, is some people say that actually, and I say some people, some experts say that if you don't have sex for a long time, your libido will actually go down. Now, some women experience this. Some women experience a decreased interest in sex. They haven't had sex for a long time, and the interest for it really just kind of fades. The lack of sex has actually, or whether it's that or other factors, they feel more sort of interested in sex. So I think either of those can happen. Your libido may not change at all, but you could also experience a decreased interest in sex or desire for sex, but you could also have an increased libido or desire for sex as well. And then let's go to some of the other things that can happen when you don't have sex for a while. This is not necessarily affecting the vagina per se, but your whole body. Remember that sexual activity, intimacy is important for our well-being. Not just sexual intercourse, right? But intimacy and connection with other people, your partner or having a partner. That does a lot for our soul, not just our body, but our soul as well. Also, sex can also relieve stress, be an anxiety reducer, may help with sleep, may do so many other things. But let's also talk about stress and anxiety around the act of sex, simply because, hey, you haven't done it in a while. Now, is that a natural feeling or natural emotion if you feel that way? you may not be able to get aroused at the same speed and sort of tempo, etc., that you could before. And maybe what they require to become aroused is different, right? It may take more, take less. There can be a tightness to the vagina, but again, I think that's just another way of describing decreased elasticity, decreased stretchiness, and stuff that I mentioned in the beginning about things that can happen when you simply have not had vaginal intercourse for a while. Because again, it's perfectly fine to go for a while without having sex. I want to make sure that there is no shame surrounding this. Do not be shamed or feel shamed if this is you. It is okay to go long periods without having sex. But what I don't want is I don't want to see shame, and I don't want you to feel shamed. Cause the opening to the vagina to feel more stenosed or close up for medical reasons. If you have any concerns and you're saying, gosh, something doesn't seem right, this video is just for a little bit of food for thought. This is a positive environment, and the truth is our bodies are amazing, and I'm glad you guys are asking these questions. So let me know what you think about this video. And by the way, this was not an all-inclusive list. On Facebook, please like and follow my page. For those of you who send stars, consider joining my subscription groups for exclusive content. It's for everybody, but for my free health newsletter and all sorts of stuff, come check it out. Make sure you stay with me.